You'd never have noticed it unless you were looking for it. And that's exactly how it was meant to be. The instructions were simple, whispered in hushed tones by members of my embroidery group. After nightfall, head past the bakery to the second lane. Look for the unlit lamppost and turn down the dark alley. You'll find a moss-covered staircase. Descend it, and at the bottom, through the set of green doors on the left, you'll find her. The doors, weathered and peeling, were once painted a beautiful emerald green. Now, half the paint lay in small piles on the cobblestone. Instead of knocking, I reached for the rusted copper handle and the door opened easily. A small bell chimed, its echo lingering in the dark hallway. "Welcome!" On posters, she's grotesque, an example of how time and sin can sour a person. But in person, she had an enduring beauty, one you couldn't look away from. "Come in, darling. Don't be shy. Contrary to popular belief, I don't bite, although I can't say the same for everything here." Her voice was like a wind chime, melodic, almost hypnotic. For a moment I wondered if I would be dragged out to sea by that voice, like in the myths. She gestured to a seat. I obeyed, and she handed me a warm cup of tea. The room was dim, cluttered with worn books and strange bottles, none of which I dared to look at closely. A tattered blue curtain hung behind her chair, hiding part of the room. "Isn't it beautiful?" She lifted her wrist, revealing an ornate gold watch. It belonged to my first husband. On the 10th anniversary of his death, I'll smash it to bits and melt it into a necklace. A little gift from him to me. Her laughter sent a chill down my spine. Still, curiosity outweighed fear. She shared how, once, she'd been an actress, admired by many. But after the shows, men, drunk, arrogant, would demand more than a performance. Her husband hadn't asked for her hand. He had taken it, damaging her in ways too deep to heal. The years wore on, and when she couldn't bear him a child, she became ugly to him. One night, in a drunken rage, he threatened to ruin her, but she had vowed never would a child be cursed with a man like him as their father. That night, he struck her, left her for dead. But fate had other plans. She traced a scar along her chin, a reminder of the brutality she had survived. He didn't know I was pregnant. I didn't know. Afterward, there was nothing left to bury but a memory. With a faint smile, she leaned forward. "Now, love, how would you like your tragedy to unfold?" "Widows in my town all chose differently," she explained. "Some went for subtler methods, others more brutal. All's fair in love and war, after all." 2 weeks from now, she promised, my husband would take his final walk home. Filled with despair, he would drunkenly throw himself from the local bridge into the river. He'd never learn to swim. No one would dare speak of it. I would mourn him, wear black, and raise my children in peace. The bruises would fade. She stood, pulling back the blue curtain, revealing a cage filled with writhing, hissing creatures. Snakes. They moved as one, a green scaly mass. I stumbled back in horror as her eyes flashed, wild and ravenous.